What's going on, guys? It's Modern, back with another episode of Road to the Top. Today we're going to be continuing the win streak that I've been having on Battle Spot. I believe right now I'm something like 10 or 11 and 0, and I'm in the medium 1600s. So we're going to keep seeing if I can stay undefeated. If not, that's fine, but it'd be really cool to see if we could get up to the 1700s without a single loss. Okay, 1660, 10 wins, 0 losses. Let's see if we can keep this up. Like I said, it's been a pretty good run so far. I've actually played a couple of really good players and had a couple of really good matches so far, so hopefully we can keep up that trend. I'd like to be playing some of the better players instead of the lower ladder players, but since the ladder has reset just recently, we might not. But this is going to be Mateo from Spain, 1694 rating, and he's going to be using a pretty interesting team right here. Kangaskhan, Jellicent, Cresselia, Groudon, Kyogre, and Smeargle. I am very much inclined to bring Thundurus in this match because I think... I mean, he's not going to... He's only going to bring one of the Trick Room setters this match. I think he'll just do Kang, Dual Primal, and a Trick Room setter. And not Smeargle. I'm actually just going to lead Kangaskhan Yveltal, gives me good coverage against anything. So we're just going to go with, yet again, the super standard Trick Room setup. I was inclined to bring Thundurus because it's good against both Kyogre and Jellicent, and it's also able to taunt his Pokemon, but the more I think about it, the more I realize that I'd rather just nuke his Pokemon out. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll bring Jellicent to this match. I think he'll bring Cresselia. He could even bring Smeargle too, but I think it's most likely just going to be Kangaskhan, Cress, and Dual Primal. If not, then it's going to be Kyogre. No, I think he would have to bring Groudon. But regardless, I'm not bringing Salamence. Salamence is just way too weak. Makes me too weak to the Smeargle mode on their team. So hopefully right here I don't see anything like a Kang Smeargle lead, because that could lead me into some trouble. Just given that I'm leading with the two Pokemon that I have that actually outspeed the Smeargle. So it would come down to Mind Games turn 1. So let's see. Kang Yveltal from my side against Kangaskhan Groudon. Okay, so that's pretty solid. I'm fine with that. I think what I'm going to do for turn 1 is just fake out Groudon and probably Dark Pulse their Kangaskhan. The reason being is that I don't want to have to risk a Kangaskhan speed tie right here, so I don't want to... Like, I would be fine with trading fake outs normally, but yeah, it's just too much of a risk to go for the fake out on their Kang. Yeah, and just foul play the King. Because at the most, right here, I don't think they'll go for any super hard predictions like Protect and a low kick. If anything, I'd prefer that because it means that I won't be losing Yveltal next turn. Because normally Yveltal's able to survive a double edge plus a fake out, but if they go for the low kick onto my Kangaskhan, then that means they 100% can't. They do go for fake out, and it's going to be onto my Kangaskhan, so unfortunately they win the speed tie right here. Yeah, I mean, it's a really bad play, in my opinion, to go for that sort of play, but there's nothing you can do about it. And they have Eruption too, so they now at this point, if they KO my Kangaskhan, I can, like, yeah, I was gonna say I can firmly say that if they were gonna go for that play, I am losing to RNG. But it happens. It's not like you can do anything about it. For right here, I'm just gonna switch in Cresselia. I'm assuming they're not going to double into Cresselia this turn. Okay, so I'm just going to have to hope that my Trick Room mode can beat them out. I'm going to go for Trick Room and a Sucker Punch onto their Groudon. Again, that's really, really unfortunate. Usually when someone fake outs your Kangaskhan, it's usually anticipating you to attack, but there's absolutely no reason to, in that situation, to ever go for the fake out trade, in my opinion. And that was also a really risky play on their side right there to go for another Eruption, because if I went for Snarl... Oh, wow, and I survived too. I was going to say, if they let me just get another Snarl off, then they wouldn't really be doing any damage. But I guess they're just going to conserve King right here. It's going to be really, really sucky if I lose because of a speed tie. Like I did. Yeah, and I think I'll just Ice Beam Cresselia and probably Sucker Punch it too. No, actually, I'll Ice Beam the Groudon and then Sucker Punch the Cress. They might skill swap themselves, that's fine. But I think they'll just Ice Beam an Eruption this turn. Oh no, and they aren't, so they're going for Thunder Wave. Okay, so they're running this type of Dual Primal. Which is, it's sort of a weird setup for Dual Primals, but I'm fine with it. Because Thunder Wave's not going to do too much here. They just go for another Eruption. This can't knock out my Cresselia. Actually, now that I think about the first turn, I guess I should have just stayed unmega'd on Kangaskhan. But, again, it really doesn't matter. It's a really, really bad play to go for Fake Out like that turn 1. Because if I outsped them, then I basically won the game. Because their Kangaskhan would be in range of a Double Edge. But now I don't really have a choice. I know that their Kyogre and Groudon are probably going to be faster than mine. So at the very least, I know I can keep Trick Room up, which is really good for me. For this play, I'm just going to go for a Gravity and a P-Blades. But this match is looking like a lost cause now. Because what they're going to do is, I assume they might just protect an Ice Beam or something, or Icy Wind. Yeah, because the moment that they get Kyogre against me outside of Trick Room, I lose. Oh wow, and I get fully paralyzed, so... Okay, and I lose this game. Unfortunate. My opponent won a 50-50 with the Kangaskhan's, and they went for the risk. Yeah, and, oh wow, they just went for Eruption. That's an odd play. But still, though, there's no reason for me to keep playing this match out. So yeah, what have we learned about this match right here? First of all, for the Kangaskhan's, Fake Out onto another Kangaskhan's very, very risky. Because it was like I was saying, if my opponent did not win the speed tie, they lost. Because Eruption wouldn't have KO'd my Kangaskhan. I would have knocked their Kangaskhan into range of either Double Edge or another foul play. And at that point, honestly, I could probably just double up into their Groudon, actually. But yeah, there's really no reason not to Mega Evolve in that situation for my side. And especially not to go for the Fake Out trade. Like, I honestly don't understand why they went for the Kangaskhan Fake Out, but... Yeah, it's unfortunate. Now, it's an extremely, like, I'm going to tell you right now, it's an extremely RNG luck-based play, but if you can get it off, you can win off of it, like you saw for that first turn. Yeah, that's really unfortunate, because ending my win streak, unfortunately not to a player who is more skilled, someone who outplayed me. It was, they Thunder Waved me and got the Gravity, they Thunder Waved me, so I wasn't able to set up Gravity. And then they won the Fake Out speed tie turn 1. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate because I hate when that happens on Battle Spot. That's one of the things that irritates me about Pokemon is that you can go for like super safe plays. Like for me, faking out on their Groudon, there was no reason for them not to fake out my Yveltal. There's no reason. There's no reason not to fake out my Yveltal. Because if I low kick their Kang, then they can just go for their Trick Room mode with their Cresselia. Or I guess Thunder Wave. Or even Kyogre. Okay, so this is an interesting team. Salamence, Gengar, Kangaskhan, Xerneas, Groudon, and Thundurus. I'm inclined to just lead Kangaskhan and Yveltal right here. This might be another match where I'm just going for the super standard setup again. It's funny how this is the setup I always use. In practice on Showdown and usually off camera, I almost, this is not a very common setup to use. It's really only against the Big Six and other hard Trick Room / Cresselia-based teams that I would bring something like this. It's just funny how I keep playing those. Okay, hopefully we're going to play through this match. I'm going to try not to be tilted for the last match because it's really tough thinking about, like, if someone wins that sort of speed tie, they can win a game off of turn 1. Just off of a 50-50 chance. And it's not even a 50-50. If I stayed on Mega, then they completely lose the game. Alright, they're going to lead Kangaskhan Xerneas right here against my Kangaskhan and Yveltal. What I'm going to do turn 1 is probably... I think I might actually fake out their Kangaskhan right here. Because their Xerneas might... I don't know. I'd rather have the Xerneas go for Geo, I think. I mean, they're going for low kick with Kang like 100% of the time right here, I think. So I think I'll actually fake out Zern and go for a Snarl. They might just fake out my Yveltal just in case if I'm running a Tailwind set, but in all honesty, I don't really see a reason for them to go for that. I think they might just low kick and protect, but this is fine. I don't want to have to run into a situation where I'm faking out their Kangaskhan. Because this is another situation, like I was saying, because it's a 50-50 in that case. If I fake out their Kangaskhan, then I have a 50% chance to null out their fake out if they go for it. But it's just too risky to go for, especially in best of 1. Alright, I do win the Kang speed tie. I do get the fake out off onto Xerneas. It does a little bit of chip damage, which is nice. Xerneas flinch, Yveltal Snarl, connects with both, which is really good. Because now Xerneas is at -1. If it tries to set up again, I can just go for Snarl and drop its special attack. Let's see. Kangaskhan goes for low kick. Okay. And I should be able to survive this without a critical hit. And I do, which is really good. And now I think they're just going to Sucker Punch my Kangaskhan. So in all honesty, I think I'll just Sucker Punch them back. And then just go for Snarl again. And I win this potential speed tie right here, which is really good, because I might be able to knock them out with a Snarl. Oh wow, okay, and they went for Sucker Punch too, so... Won the speed tie right there. They are going to Moonblast into Yveltal, but this should do about 30%. Oh, I think they might have crit. Life Orb Xerneas. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, but I KO their Kangaskhan, so that's really good. Okay. Opponents keep risking, like... I know the Sucker Punch on my side was a 50-50, but I honestly figured they'd probably Dazzling Gleam with Xerneas. The fact I won the speed tie there was really, really good. Now they're going to bring out Groudon, which is really good for me. I think I'm probably going to double into their Groudon, too, this turn. Because they could just go for a Dazzling Gleam, but Xerneas is at -2 on their side, and they're not able to knock out my Yveltal this turn without a critical hit. That's 100% sure. It's also the fact that Xerneas is Life Orb, so it's not really that big of a threat to me. Okay, but they're just going to protect with Groudon, so they're going for the obvious play right here. I'm fine with that, though. Like I was saying, Dazzling Gleam will KO my Kangaskhan right here, but they're not going to be able to pick up a knockout onto Yveltal. Ooh, and they might actually be I think, are they modest Xerneas? Or did they outspeed me? No, okay, they outsped me. That's fine. Now I can just bring in Cresselia, and I should pretty much have this locked up at this point. They might have Smeargle in the back for like a late game counter to my Trick Room, but it's not really that big of a deal at this point. And then Sucker Punch should knock Groudon into a range where Precipice Blades will knock it out. If they do go for Substitute or something right here, then Skill Swap onto my Groudon basically wins this situation. Yeah, because if I just Skill Swap myself, then I won't go down to P-Blades, and I should be able to knock out their Groudon. If they go for... If my Sucker Punch does enough damage here. Okay, they just attack with both, so that's fine. This is definitely a fast Groudon. I'm hoping they're not Eruption, because they might have a chance to knock me out right here. Xerneas, Life Orb, Groudon, goes for Rock Slide. Okay, so they know they need to go for the hacks right here. Okay, and they don't get it, so that's good for me. And now at this point, I believe I can just go for a Gravity. No, Gravity is still risky, because if they have Smeargle, then... if they have Wide Guard Smeargle, then I could lose the game. I actually 100% lose if they have Wide Guard Smeargle in the back, so... Yeah, I'm just going to Skill Swap myself. I think it's fair to say that... At the very least, this will come down to... Fire Punch Wars, or me just KOing their Smeargle first. I do have the entirety of the Trick Room left, though, so that's good. Protect on Groudon. Let's see. And they just protect with Zern, too. And then now I can just Ice Beam into their Groudon and go for P-Blades. Because if they have Smeargle, then I'll be able to KO them with the combination of Ice Beam and Precipice Blades. And if it's like a Levitator like Gengar or something, then I can still just go for Gravity. And Xerneas, since it is dropped 2 stages of special attack, it won't really matter at this point. So they do withdraw Groudon, and it's going to be into Gengar, so they do have the Levitator like I was talking about. But like I said, I can just go for Gravity at this point. If this doesn't KO the Xerneas, yeah, okay, it's going to KO, though. I was going to say, if it doesn't KO the Xerneas, I might be in a bit of trouble, because they might be able to stall out my Trick Room. Because then they could just double protect the next turn, and then just sack both of their Pokemon. I don't know, I guess I would still be in a winning position, because I set up Gravity 100% here. So as long as they're like not min speed Groudon, I should win. There's always a possibility, though. Some people have used it in the past with decent success. Maybe this is like a Trick Room Gengar or something. But yeah, Gravity is going to pay off a lot right here. Gengar does go for a Protect, so they are going to try to stall out the Trick Room. Oh wow, and they just attack, so maybe they were thinking I would target down Gengar, but Gravity was my safest play. I'm surprised I didn't just expect a Gravity to come out. Alright, and this is a game win now, because Gengar has no way to beat both of my Pokemon. Maybe if they have, like, Hypnosis or something, and they can get a double Protect. Okay, but yeah, they're just going to forfeit. The chances were way, way against them, and even if they managed to KO my Cresselia, and maybe put my Groudon to sleep, then I'd still be in a winning position. Alright, so... just going along with what I was saying with the last match, this episode has been a big lesson, I guess, to all of you guys. 50-50s are really, really dumb. Speed ties are really, really dumb. Now, for me going for the Sucker Punch, that was less of a 50-50 because I knew that I was going to be losing Kangaskhan soon anyways. But, just the fact that for that first match, my opponent went for the fake out onto my Kangaskhan, risking the speed tie, and also risking me not going for Mega Evolution is really what won them the game. Because if it was the opposite way, if I was able to outspeed them and fake out their Groudon, then their Kangaskhan would be in range of pretty much everything on my team, and at that point, I think I could have just gone for a Snarl and an attack into Groudon. So I would have been in the winning position as opposed to my opponent in the last match, had they not won the speed tie with the fake out. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please go and leave a like. It helps me out a lot. If you want to keep up with all my videos coming out throughout the summer, please go check out my social media and hit subscribe. I'm ModernGamer. Thanks for watching.